Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. Happy Friday. I hope you guys all had a great 4th of July. I definitely had a great start to my long weekend. I actually got to kick it with Darren yesterday and watch Spider-Man Far From Home. It was his second time watching it. He already put a video up on the channel telling you guys what he thought. But just to let you guys know what I thought, I definitely enjoyed it. It's not the best Spider-Man movie out there, at least on my list, but it is very enjoyable and had some great action scenes in it. But yeah, we're not reviewing the whole movie here. What we are talking about in this video is DC news and topics. The 4 things we're going to talk about today, we are talking about some new Joker magazine covers. We are talking about a behind-the-scenes Shazam video that talks about filmmaking in general from the director David F. Sandberg, and we are also talking about 2 other big stories. One, the Release the Snyder Cut movement is gaining momentum. It has another new champion that recently just came to light, as well as interesting details on Christopher McQuarrie and his pitch to DC for Green Lantern and Superman. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the topics today. The first thing we are talking about are these new Joker images. I should say Empire magazine covers that have recently come out this morning. So you can see first here, here's one of them. You can see a kind of blurred image of the Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in his clown makeup, as well as Arthur Fleck on the other side. And it's very artistically splitting his face in half, and you can see the menacing nature of the Joker on the left and Arthur Fleck's kind of mysterious, almost sinister look on the right. And I absolutely love this image right here. I'm not sure if people actually still collect magazine covers. It's been a long time since I've actually bought magazine covers, but it's always interesting when I think Empire magazine gets all the great stories and cover pages, but it's always interesting to check out some of the new images, especially in a time where we're kind of itching for more news. We all know leading up to Comic-Con, there tends to be a drought in news because, companies tend to save all their big stuff and reveals for Comic-Con, but DC is not going to be there. So hopefully we're going to start getting some news in regards to these movies, news and trailers for these movies soon. So that's one image right there, and then the other image, this one is the standard cover, I guess. So I guess the other one is some sort of special edition cover, but here we go, another look at the Clown Prince of Crime, and then we get the image we've seen of Arthur Fleck before, and then we just get what looks to be layered with the him and his Joker makeup, and it kind of symbolizes his dual identity, or at least the dual identity we're going to see in the movie. So yeah, again, I think it's really excited that we have. It's really exciting that we have an actor of Joaquin Phoenix's caliber to play this role. I really think he's going to knock it out of the park. And again, people are already comparing him to Heath Ledger and everything like that, but I don't think that we need to do any sort of comparisons. I think this movie is going to stand on its own, and I'm thinking that's what DC intends it to do. So either way, there's going to be a lot of comparisons on who's the best Joker so far and everything. I have a feeling that after this movie that he's going to be up there. So let me know what you guys think of these magazine covers. Actually have a great topic and discussion topic that we want to bring up on reading the comments this Sunday concerning the Joker, so stay tuned for that. But let me know what you guys think of these 2 Joker covers. Which one do you think is a better cover? Let me know in the comments down below. Moving on, we are going to talk about Shazam, and there's been some behind the scenes stuff coming out, and I think it's because the digital release, I think, just passed. I'm not sure, because I plan on buying the hard copy. I'm more of a hard copy type guy instead of digital. But there is a really cool video that came out. Oops, I'm sorry. Excuse me there. There is a really cool video that came out that has David F. Sandberg, I believe, narrating the whole process of problem solving in movies, and he talks about how in movies half of the job is problem solving, and that's the fun of it. So he goes on to point out some things that you probably didn't even notice happen in the movie, and how he solved the problems, and how much you have to really plan ahead in regards to making movies. And I can only attest to the difficulty of making such shots work. So in this video, he talks about things like having the issue of Shazam flying in the movie, in the mall sequence. And what I didn't notice is that there were people standing in the background of the scene that were actually cast and crew members. So they got that shot with cast and crew members in there, not unknowingly. And then he talked about how they had to go ahead and digitally fix that after the fact. And he talked about why this sometimes happens. This famously happened most recently on Game of Thrones, where they left it wasn't really Starbucks cup, but it was a coffee cup in a big scene with Daenerys sitting at a table, and the internet lit up, and there was memes galore in regards to that gaffe. And David F. Sandberg in here talks about why those gaffes sometimes happen is because you spend months and months and months meticulously trying to get the flying right and trying to render out all of the people that are making the flight happen, who happen to be in blue suits, that you're so focused on that you don't notice that in the background there's some crew members. So he talks about how they fix that problem. They talk about the problem with scheduling conflicts with actors and kids, and how he fixed that. And I thought that was one really interesting one, because there's a lot of moving pieces when it comes to movies, and seeing how he was able to fix it and his rationale and his thinking, I thought was really interesting. I most recently did my first little movie clip where I did a gender reveal for my kid that's coming in November, and it's on the channel. It's a Star Wars gender reveal, but that was the first time I kind of I had to direct people on how I wanted to shoot the scenes and put together some of the clips, which didn't seem like they would come together at the end, but I had to really direct people and try to figure out how I'm going to make these effects happen. And it was super difficult doing like a 30-second, 40-second video, and could only imagine the big budget movies. So it really is movie magic. So you get to see that in this video. So check that video out. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. And let's move on. And we are talking about the hashtag #ReleaseTheSnyderCut movement, and Comic-Con is around the corner, and we have some a new champion that's on a bigger platform than most of us. And that has to do with Rob Liefeld. So Rob Liefeld, the guy who created Deadpool, is actually a supporter of the Release the Snyder Cut movement, and actually helped get the Release the Snyder Cut trending on Twitter. I think it was yesterday now. So this all comes after the fact that Zack Snyder released a look at Darkseid, a new Uxas image on his Vero account, and Darren already talked about it in our previous video, but you can see right here an unfinished image of Darkseid. It's really quite incredible, and it looks like Darkseid was the original person in that history lesson in Justice League, because this same shot had Steppenwolf in it in the movie. So it looks like they changed up who it was supposed to be. It was originally supposed to be Darkseid, but again, I'm not going to talk about how disappointing that is, because we all know how disappointing that is. But after that happened, there were comic creators, like the guy who co-wrote The Death of Superman, came out on Twitter talking about he supports releasing the cut, or he wants to see it. And then Rob Liefeld also he tweets out a few things. He tweets out this tweet right here. Says, "Everyone wants it released, give it to us." And then he reposts Comic Book Now's article, and then there's another tweet that he did on July 3rd. Actually, it says, "Come on, it can't be that hard. Just give us the goods here. He's a proven visionary. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut." And then he has the extended cut of Sucker Punch on there, which I haven't seen. The ultimate cut of Watchmen, which is great. Of course, Man of Steel, my favorite superhero movie ever, and of course 300, which put me on to Zack Snyder, and I absolutely love that movie. And it is really it is a really big thing for someone like Rob Liefeld, such a respected guy in the industry, to put his 2 cents in on the matter and get more people aware of this movement as Comic-Con looms. So really exciting stuff here. Again, for me, I don't anticipate that this cut will be released anytime soon, but I think if you keep making the noise, maybe in a year, a couple years, maybe we wait 5 years down the line when DC's finally on the straight and narrow, and or the universe is rebooted, maybe we eventually get it. But I do think we can eventually win this battle, or win this war, I should say. We have new management in the DC camp, so hopefully they're listening to the fans, and hopefully we get something soon. I think it's going to happen. I just can't tell you guys when. All I can say is keep supporting the movement. This is great that Rob Liefeld is on here doing that. And again, Darren's going to be at Comic-Con for Saturday and Sunday, and hopefully he can check out some of the fans that are out there and that are going to make more noise at Comic-Con. We know the DC's not doing anything at Hall H, but they're going to be, the Release the Snyder Cut movement is going to be there in full force for Comic-Con. Hopefully Darren will get some coverage of that. So let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. We have never stopped believing in this movement, and we will continue to do so and continue to cover it. So let's move on to the last thing for today. It has to do with Christopher McQuarrie and a failed Superman and Green Lantern movie pitch that he had. Christopher McQuarrie, as you know, is a director that I myself and even Darren on this channel have been excited at the prospect of him joining the DCEU, especially after his most recent work with the Mission Impossible franchise, especially Fallout, with him working with Henry Cavill. We all thought that if they had great chemistry in that movie, imagine him directing a Superman movie. And we did videos like a while back now where when the rumors were at its peak about him joining the DCU. Ultimately, it came to nothing, and basically someone went on Twitter and asked him about it. And here's kind of how the tweet conversation went. So someone went ahead and asked him about his planned DCU arc. Here's how the thread went. He says, "Too complicated to explain. It tied into the Superman movie that Cavill and I were proposing. No takers. The studios have never cared for my original ideas. They prefer that I fix their broken ones. They never said no. They just never moved on it. This was just before Fallout was released, and no, I would not reconsider. There's too many other things I want to do. Green Lantern was a written proposal. Superman was a pitch." So these are just the responses from Christopher McQuarrie. It doesn't include the questions asked by the people on Twitter. But this is, we need to start a new segment, DC WTF. All the WTF moments in which you think DC could not be more wrong. Now, to be fair to DC, we don't know what the pitch was exactly. Could have been horrible. Probably wasn't, but could have been horrible. The studio has lost the confidence of a lot of fans, including myself, for the most part. I am excited about what's coming still, but I do have a lack of confidence in the studio at this point, because we have a director. They're supposed to be this director-driven studio, and with him saying, it was a really devastating comment here, him saying, "The studios have never cared for my original ideas. They prefer that I fix their broken ones." So I imagine that Christopher McQuarrie has an idea of where they want to go in the future, and they look to be like broken ideas, at least in his estimation, because that's such a strong and powerful thing to say right there. They prefer that I fix their broken ideas. And from hearing a lot of leaks and what they plan to do in the future, it does sound perplexing, thinking about them not recasting Cavill, a very beloved Superman. Divisive as BVS was, or Man of Steel, I think it's unanimous that Henry Cavill is a great Superman. And it's very, very disappointing to hear that, this could have been a thing. With Green Lantern kind of in limbo, we had a director who wanted to kind of bring in Green Lantern and tie it into Superman. Oh, actually, so he said Green Lantern, he had a written proposal for Green Lantern, and then he had a pitch for Superman. So he had ideas. This could have been a guy who carried the ship after Zack Snyder left, and we need a guy to carry the ship. And I've talked about that in previous videos where I talked about the rumor about James Gunn taking on this Kevin Feige type role, and then hopefully J.J. Abrams coming on board. Maybe J.J. Abrams can lead us in the right direction. Now, I know some of you guys aren't supportive of the J.J. Abrams idea, but there are those that are, and I happen to be one of them. But that's a bigger discussion. But you guys definitely let me know what you guys think about this. I wanted to let you guys know that there was a chance Christopher McQuarrie could have joined this universe, but it looks like he's just going to focus on the future Mission Impossible movies at this point. But who knows? Again, if whoever gets the mantle next, if it's JJ tends to have a lot of connections. Hopefully he can rein him back in and get some talent on board like Christopher McQuarrie, or at least of the same caliber. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more videos like this. Peace.